Welcome to the Let's Go Show. I'm Dax, and I'm here with Olivia.
Hey everyone, we're starting a brand new series today, and we're diving into the Book of Psalms.
The Psalms are basically songs and prayers that were written thousands of years ago, but they're still completely relevant to our lives today.
And we're starting with one of the most well-known Psalms in the entire Bible, Psalm 23. Dax, have you ever been around sheep?
Actually, yeah, my grandpa have a few sheep on his property, and let me tell you something, sheep are not the smartest.
What do you mean?
Well, they wander off all the time.
They don't seem like the type of animals that could really stand up for themselves, especially on their own.
You're right, they are not safe on their own, but still, they see some grass that looks a little better and just walk away from the group. They get lost, they get into dangerous situations, they need constant watching.
That's exactly why they need a shepherd, someone to guide them, protect them, and make sure they have everything they need.
And that's what our main point is today. God takes care of me no matter what. In Psalms 23, David calls God his shepherd.
Now, David wasn't just making this up. Before he became king of Israel, David actually was a shepherd. He spent years watching over his father's sheep, protecting them from lions and bears.
So when David writes, "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing," he knows exactly what he's talking about. He understands what a good shepherd does.
But here's what makes this even more incredible. David wrote this psalm during some of the hardest times of his life. David's king, King Saul, was trying to kill him. He was running for his life. He was hiding in caves.
Yet, even in those dark moments, David could say, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me."
That's the kind of trust we're talking about today. Not just trusting God when everything is going well, but trusting that He takes care of us no matter what we're facing.
And this psalm points us directly to Jesus on many occasions, who not to mention called himself the Good Shepherd. So as we learn about a God who cares for us, we're learning also about who Jesus is.
Here's something really cool. David is like a prayer coach for us. He's showing us how to talk to God during both good times and hard times. When we read His words, we're learning how to pray with the same kind of trust He had. So when you don't know what to say to God, David's prayers can become your prayers.
Before we continue, think about this. What's one area in your life that you need to trust that God will take care of you?
Some of our fears and anxieties come from the false idea that we don't have enough. Even when you get what you want, at the end of the day, you're left unsatisfied because now there's something else that you want. Even worse is the lie that says, "I'm not enough." And so we try to prove to ourselves or to other people that we are good enough by trying to be good at things that don't really matter. You're not alone in this. Our identity is not defined by what we can do or by what we have. It's defined by God's love for us. You see, in the Bible, this is something that David understood very well. No matter what was going on around him, no matter how bad a situation might get, he didn't try to find security in his own ability. He trusted God's love and God's provision. Check out this famous psalm he wrote, Psalm 23. "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for His name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." Now, do me a favor and think about lying down in green pastures. Think about those quiet waters. What comes to mind? Wait. This looks a lot different than what I just imagined. This is a rocky desert wasteland, and there's nothing comfortable at all about this place. And I know it may be shocking, but this is actually what David had in mind when he wrote the psalm. Before he was king, before he was fighting bears and giants, he was a shepherd boy. And this is what the land looked like. Where are those green pastures? This is not the lush field of grass that may come to your mind. This place lacks everything. I mean, those sheep don't just eat rocks, right? Okay, yes, the sheep don't eat just rocks. It's a place where the flock is dependent on the shepherd for everything: food, water, safety. But how could you call this green pastures? The answer is with the little rain they would get each year, these little blades of grass would grow between the rocks. The shepherd would move the sheep across the hillside, pick up the little grass that's there, and then keep moving. And it's one mouthful here, walk a little more, maybe a bite there. You see, there's not much, but it's just enough. So often in our lives, we worry about what tomorrow may hold, but in the desert, you learn to trust God because He's the shepherd. He will get you what you need right now, and it's going to be just enough. So again, if you're like me, you've probably worried about stuff. You've worried if God is going to get you out of the bad situation that you're in. But whatever it is, trust God because He's the good shepherd. He's there by your side to comfort you and to protect you. God will provide you with all that you need.
As Jesus stood in front of a large crowd, He felt love and kindness toward them. They were like sheep without a shepherd, lost and alone. Long ago, God had promised to rescue them from the curse of sin and free them from the abuse and neglect of false shepherds. "I am the good shepherd," Jesus said. The good shepherd cares about his sheep and knows each one by name. The good shepherd loves his sheep and is willing to lay down his life for them. The hireling is a false shepherd who cares only about the money he earns by watching over someone else's sheep. It's just a job to him, so when danger comes, he runs away, leaving the flock behind. Why should he put himself at risk for a bunch of nameless animals that don't even belong to him? He views his life as much more important than theirs. Even a small sacrifice is too much for him to make for a flock of helpless sheep he views as worthless. The hireling is often seen counting his money while the sheep wander helplessly through the fields. If any of the sheep were in danger, he would not notice until it is too late to help them. The hireling is a coward who runs from any threat. He would leave the helpless sheep unprotected from people or other animals that want to cause them harm. But the good shepherd never lets his sheep out of his sight. He is theirs, and they are his. There is no pain or sadness that they will ever bear alone. The enemy may hunt and take action to destroy them, but the good shepherd will always stand in front of the sheep as a protective shield against any enemy. He is their sole defense. The good shepherd considers the lives of his sheep to be more precious than his own. He will not hesitate to give up his power and position, even his life, in order to save them so that they might gain everything. The good shepherd loves the sheep more than he loves his own life. Jesus called out to the people in his audience, "I am the good shepherd." His love for them was eternal, and his care for them was unending. Soon he would lay down his life for the sheep he loved, those who hear his voice and follow him. Jesus died for all sinners. He was willing to give his life as payment for the sins of the world. Jesus said, "I have come that they might have life, and life more abundantly." Jesus loves us more than he loved his own life, and he has come to seek and save all who are lost. Call on the name of the Good Shepherd, the name of Jesus, and you will be saved.
That Bible story was incredible. Hearing Jesus talk about being a good shepherd really brings Psalms 23 to life.
It's amazing that David wrote about God being his shepherd hundreds of years before Jesus even came to earth. And then Jesus literally calls himself the Good Shepherd.
When Jesus says, "I am the good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep." That's exactly what he did for us on the cross.
Think about it. David wrote, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." Jesus literally walked through death and conquered it, so we don't have to fear it.
And when Psalms 23 says, "You prepare the table before me in the presence of my enemies," Jesus prepared the ultimate victory over our greatest enemies, sin and death.
David trusted God to take care of him when King Saul was hunting him down. We can trust Jesus to take care of us because he's already defeated sin, the thing that could truly harm us the most.
So, our main point, God takes care of me no matter what, isn't just a nice thought. It's a promise backed up by Jesus giving his life for us.
That means whatever valley you're walking through right now, family problems, school stress, friendship issues, fears about the future, Jesus is right there with you.
He's not watching you from a distance. He's leading you, protecting you, and making sure you have everything you truly need.
Just like sheep sometimes can't see where the shepherd is leading them, we might not always understand what God is doing, but we can trust that our good shepherd is leading us somewhere good.
Because Jesus didn't just tell us he's the good shepherd, he proved it by dying for us and rising again.
Right, so now we can be with him forever.
So this week, when you feel worried or alone, remember Psalms 23. Remember that God takes care of you no matter what.
We'll see you next week when we talk about praising God with our whole hearts.
What?